Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 21 of the run where we prepare for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. In this run, we will go through every single weapon, shield, armor set, talisman, spirit ash, physic tier, and cookbook that you'll need no matter what build you're creating in order to prepare. So, last time we went through Volcano Manor, and there's a few things still to do there, like the boss, and there's 2 letters of NPCs that we have to kill, though we will get to those later. For now, we are going to start at the Outer Wall Phantom Tree Site of Grace, where there are immediately 2 golden seed. And there's immediately the map as well. Now this not only covers the outskirts, but it also covers Lanedale itself, which is very good. Now first we're going to be heading off here, kinda southwest. You should see a spiky fort before too long, and you should see one of the 2 things we're here for once you get close. There's pretty much immediately an ulcerated tree spirit. Though, the other thing we're here for is this chest, which holds the Giant Crusher. This is a strength-based colossal weapon, which is quite popular among some people, especially strength builds. Though here, we can prepare ourselves, because we're gonna bring this thing down. And with their death, you get a 3rd golden seed. And from there, you may see a building, some crumbling ruins up there. That is our next destination. So, there's a cliffside that you can jump up onto that lets you get into this incline. And there's some enemies here, you can fight them if you want, or you can easily avoid them. And in this minor Erdtree church, you get Missionary's Cookbook 4. And this allows you to craft holy grease and holy arrows. So if you want to pick that up, you can. If not, you can skip it. As you can see, I picked it up. And here, there's the Golden Order Seal. This is a sacred seal that scales off both intelligence and faith, and has a weight of 0. So very good for dual intelligence faith builds. And here, you can talk to Melina.
Spoke words of if you would. Himara, I declare through understand those bliss my comrade.
Doing so will get you the Outer Order gesture. And I forgot to do it at the beginning, so we can do it here. And that is going through the important things we got in Volcano Manor, which mainly starts at the weapons here. So we got Godskin Stitcher, a heavy thrusting sword, we got Serpent Bone Blade, we got 2 Great Omen Killer Cleavers, We got Giza's Wheel, we got the Spear, which has a complicated name, we got Serpent Hunter, we got Haslow's Petal Whip, we got the Magma Whip Candlestick, we got Bloodhound Claws, we got the Elbenoric Staff, we got the Erdtree Seal, we got the Crimson Tear Scarab, the Elbenoric Mask, Dialos' Mask, and the Scaled and Bull Goat armor sets. And then, to top it all off, we also got Krupus's Vial and the Dagger Talisman, which, while I put them in storage, they are quite good. And ones that I would suggest using if they fit your playstyle. Though from here, we can head out and down this pathway. Where you should find this little elevated spot with the wolves. And that indicates to you that you can head off to the right, where you can find this drop down area that will lead you down to the bottom of the cliff into this ravine-like section. And as you can see, there's an invisible scarab heading around. Again, Glintblade Phalanx is very good for catching these without needing to time your swing. Though, if you can time your swing, then you get the Ash of War Prayerful Strike. Not super overpowered, but it is pretty decent, and it's especially good for strength faith builds, especially ones that use great hammers. And heading into here, there isn't a pop-up yet, but this is the sealed tunnel. And this one is a little bit unique in the sense that it has a lot of these invisible walls, or illusory walls. And here, we have 36 Smithing Stone 5s and 18 Smithing Stone 6. So, we can take note of that, as I will not be going through this entire tunnel. Though I will be going through part of this first room, since in this chest over here, we can get ourselves the Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing 2. And this allows us to purchase Smithing Stone 3 and 4, as many as you want, as long as you have the runes for it. So, continuing on, we can make our way down to the boss, and we can take them out. Doing so gets you 16,000 runes and Onyx Lord's Greatsword, which is a strength intelligence based curved greatsword. And it also gets you access to this Divine Tower. And here we went from 36 to 41, an increase of 5 5s, and we went from 18 to 21 6s, an increase of 3. And you also get a smithing or a stone sword key while you're in there, which is nice. Then from there we can head back to the outer wall Phantom Tree site of grace, the one that we started at. And from there we can head northeast up this giant staircase. If you want to fight them, you can, but they just give you a mediocre weapon, so I'm going to continue on. Right here you can get a 4th and a 5th golden seed, which is very important. And then we can head up this southeastern section, where all the way at the very top, there's a door that can't be opened, though there is a lost Ash of War, which can be used to duplicate any Ash of War you currently have. And then here, there's a scarab. This is one of the ones that teleports away, but is easily killed with kukri. This gets you Ash of War Golden Parry, which is very similar to the normal parry, but with much better range. So, if you ever see someone parrying, it tends to be with that. Now, if you follow that path upwards, then you will get to fight Margit again, and killing them will get you a talisman that gets you more stamina. Though there's a better version of it later. Here, there's a basic enemy holding a chest, and killing them gets you a golden rune 12, which is why I went off this way. And from there you can keep moving forward, and there's a giant doorway opening thing, whatever you want to call it. And if you head in that general direction, then you should see a set of grace. And if you've been watching up to this point, you should know that we've gotten this already while heading through the main Eltis Plateau. Though, we can sit here. And here, as you can see, we can get an upgrade, because we got 2 golden seeds there, 1 there, and 2 there. That equals up to 5, which is the highest you need for a flask upgrade, so you get a guaranteed flask upgrade there. And as you can see, flask charge is already at maximum, which you should get that if you've been following this run up to this point. And remember, we haven't even gone to the capital yet, which means that you can head into the capital with maximum charges, which is very, very good. And then from there, you can head along this wall and up these stairs. And if you want to go straight forward, you can, or you can take a left here for a small diversion, though there are some goodies this way, like a smithing stone 5, for example. Though, beyond that, there's a set of grace here, which if you want to fight the enemies, you can, or you can just sit down to get them off your back. Either way works. Don't forget to level up if you can. And here is a merchant.
Is some customer well?
So they sell some rune arcs, a perfume bottle, which we can get, golden arrows, great arrows, golden great arrows, golden bolts, and ballista bolts. So if you're running bows, great bows, crossbows, ballistas, any of those, pretty good. They also sell Sentry's Torch, which can be used to see invisible black knives, Distinguished Great Shield, which is, it's a great shield. They also sell the Prophet set and the Upper Class set, which I'm going to get everything, just for the sake of completion. And if you talk to that merchant at nighttime, then sitting at the Set of Grace, they will disappear. And in their place, you may want to prepare, as there is a somewhat difficult boss coming up. Another bell-bearing hunter. So if you wish to fight this one, I wish you the best of luck. and bringing them down gets you 20,000 runes and Medicine Peddler's Bell Bearing. This allows you to purchase neutralizing boluses for poison, staunching boluses for blood loss, Thawfrost boluses for frost, and stimulating boluses for sleep. Though the main one we're interested here is poison. The DLC may change that, so even if you don't care for the other three, may be good to get just because we don't entirely know what the DLC is going to bring, at least at the time of recording. Though continuing on, there are some items sprinkled about here. They're mostly just poppable golden runes. Though, continuing on, once you crest that hill, you want to take a left. And here might be hard to see, but there is a minor Erdtree. Though instead of holding another Erdtree avatar, we can just come in and freely pick up the tiers here, getting you Twiggy Crack tier and the Crimson Crystal tier. And there's some enemies there, so we can head back to the crest of the hill just to de-aggro them before looking at the rewards we picked up. So, here, Crimson Crystal tier gives you half of your total HP back, which you can now put both of those in to get all of your health back. Though the main reason we went for that is for Twiggy Crack tier, which briefly stops rune loss on death. Which, you may think briefly, that's like, what, 10, 30 seconds? But if I remember correctly, I believe it's 3 minutes, which is very good, especially going up against tough bosses. So, in a sense, it's like an infinite sacrificial twig. Or if you're more into Dark Souls, then infinite ring of sacrifice. So, it is very, very good. And here, there's a Smithing Stone 5. And some of these giant golems, which you can fight, or you can run past. Either way, we are going to continue heading up, where you will find this guy. This is a boss, a Draconic Tree Sentinel, so we can take them out. And upon their death, you are rewarded with 50,000 runes, the Dragon Great Claw, and the Dragon Claw Shield. And up here, there's the Site of Grace. Now, the Dragon Great Claw is a strength dexterity-based colossal weapon with physical and lightning damage, and the Dragon Claw Shield is a great shield. Kind of like the Distinguished Shield, it is a great shield, though as you can see, outside of lightning defense, it's not that good. Now, it is better than the Icon Shield, defensively speaking, though, again, the Icon Shield gives you health regeneration, which is very good. And this bridge does lead into Landell Royal Capital, though there's more to do here in the outskirts, so we're gonna clear the rest of this area up first. So heading into here, we can head generally southwest. There's a path that naturally leads you all the way down, or you can take this wind tunnel, which is decently faster. And around here, you may find some bears, though these bears aren't big enough to break this. So as lovely as they are, they can die, and we can instead go over here for the Giga Bear. Do make sure that you stay safe, as they hurt a lot. Though, breaking that, you are rewarded with 2 Smithing Stone 6. And then, heading through here, you can find yourself in another hero grave. So, you can sit down as these elevators give you a minute to breathe. And at the bottom, moving forward, as you can see, Ariza Hero's Grave, where you get a Site of Grace, and for a Stone Sword Key, you can open up this small gate, which has 2 of these enemies. Do watch out, as the mist that they spray out causes Deathblade, which, if it fills up, is an instant kill. Though, if you can take them out, then you can freely get the Golden Epitaph. This is a strength, dexterity, faith-based straight sword with a unique skill and physical and holy damage. It also looks very nice. So, you can get that if you want, and then you can continue heading forward. And there are 2 main threats here. The first are these giant chariots, so you may want to watch out for those. And here, it's good to drop down, just to avoid them. And the second main threat are more of these things. Again, if that status builds all the way up, you instantly die. So, do be careful. And if you went through the Deep-Root Depths, you may find it beneficial to put on the Prince of Death's Cyst, as it can very easily double your resistance. Though you do need to wait for it to go all the way down. So it can be a good idea to put it on while you're heading down the elevator, since you have the time to do it there, and then that'll give it plenty of time to get rid of the extra buildup. So as you can see there, we got a Ghost Glowwort 5, which is one of the rare Ghost Glowworts. And heading over here, there's a Stone Sword Key. And this skeleton right here drops the Grossmesser, which it is a curved sword, and it's not super special, though it is my personal favorite infusible curved sword. So if you're lucky enough to get that, then might be worth trying out. It's not super strong. As I said, it's just my favorite. Though here, you do need to pick your timing carefully, as these will go between each other and they do a lot of damage. So here, not a lot of room to stand, but you can stand there for a bit of safety. Then you can either continue to head up to get to the boss, or you can take these very precarious drops down in order to head down into not really a safer section, but a section with different threats. Instead of chariots, it is gravity, though these things do come back for a tiny bit. Getting through them, you can get the Vulgar Militia Ashes. Not super strong, but for a Grave Glowwort Spirit Ash, they're not bad. And then from here, you can continue on, and if the rewards there weren't worth it to you, then you can just skip that part and immediately take the drop down. Here, there's another Grossmesser wielding skeleton. Unfortunately, I was not able to get it. Now, the reason it's my favorite is because it doesn't have a scabbard. Which, if you think that's a stupid reason, then yeah, kind of. Though, you take the things that you like where you can. And there, as you can see by me unequipping the Prince of Death Cyst, you will no longer have to deal with the basilisks, assuming you survive. Though here, you're going to have to do something a bit difficult, which is getting to the next safe position without getting hit by the giant chariot. There's not a lot of time. That is one of the hardest ones to get through. Though, don't be too worried, as they don't tend to one-shot. At least, not if you've been copying my build. Now, down there, there's an Omen and a Talisman. It is one of the Crucible Talismans, which, in my opinion, not good enough to go out of your way to get. So, here, there's a trap with fire, and I normally have a bow to shoot those while remaining safe. As you can see, I don't this time. Which, this is definitely one of the easier ones to deal with, as there's plenty of time and room. Though you want to smack that to send the light up and have the fire breathing this way. And from there, you want to drop down here. Where, as you can see, you are rewarded with the Ash of War Holy Ground, along with the Tree Sentinel set, one of the most defensive armor sets in the game. And on top of that, it also gets rid of all of the chariots, getting rid of that major threat and allowing you to freely make your way through this upper section. And then from there, you can open this door and make your way down towards the boss. Now, heading down here, you may want to prepare, as this is one of the more difficult bosses. Not overwhelmingly so, but it is a duo fight against the two different kinds of Crucible Knights. So, Spirit Ashes will definitely help in order to distract one, allowing you to take a proper one-on-one. And in this fight, I wish you the best of luck. Now, I should mention that you may notice I skip some bosses and show some other bosses, and it may seem like there is very little rhyme or rhythm to that, though there is a reason for it. I show bosses that I think are either very fast to kill, or the ones that I really enjoy. So, this is one of the ones I really enjoy. And beating them gets you 28,000 runes, Ordovis's Greatsword, and the Crucible Axe set. Now, Ordovis's Greatsword is a strength, faith-based greatsword that is physical and holy damage and has a unique and powerful skill. And I would highly suggest using that, at least in one run. And here, the Crucible Axe set, it's not as defensive as the Tree Sentinel set, but it's a bit lighter, and it's another one of the very defensive sets. Though, having done that, we can head to the Capital Rampart set of Grace, as this is the one right after the Draconic Tree Sentinel boss that I said leads you into the capital of Landel. And there's not much here. This is more so meant to be just a breather from the Draconic Tree Sentinel fight, and a bit of build up towards the grand reveal that will be happening in the very next room. Which, though we're not doing Landel, we can show this reveal of the Erdtree. Though, as I said, that's everything in the capital outskirts. Again, in this run we will go through every weapon, shield, armor set, talisman, spirit ash, physic tier, and cookbook that you will need no matter what build you're creating to prepare for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I hope you continue to follow me through on this. And with that being said, yeah.